Greetings and salutations, travelers of the internet, and welcome to the Lit Round Table. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Anna, and we'll be your wise or not so wise mentors for today's audio adventure into all things storytelling.
Welcome back.
Episode 14. Here we are.
Woo!
Today we are going to be talking about all the news in fantasy. Which sounds very broad, but we're recording this after the San Diego Comic-Con, and of course there's a million bajillion things that get dropped and announced at Comic-Con, so there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
And I am excited to dive into that with you today. But of course, before we do that, we have our read-along that is still pretty new, so if you want to get caught up, you totally can. We're reading The Hall of Smoke by H.M. Long. It's very good. Highly recommend. It's just fascinating. And of course, that airs on the opposite days, or the opposite weeks of this podcast.
Right.
But in the same place. So if you're here, it's really easy to check those out too.
Indeed.
And we also have our Patreon, which helps us, pay for the technical things of running a podcast.
Yeah.
Which is very nice. And we are super grateful and thankful for our patrons that we have now. But you can also have voting rights and get some bonus content once a month.
Which specifically voting rights for what the next read-along will be for the book.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Anyway, so you can join us over there. We'd love to have you and have more conversations with you. That would be great. Links, as always, are in the description down below. Now, Joseph.
Hi.
What in the world are you reading and watching and playing right now?
I finished Words of Radiance.
What?
And I'm moving on to Oathbringer. I'm on chapter 15.
Whoa, dude. So you're like a 16th of the way into the book.
Yeah, I'm like, it feels like 2 chapters.
Yeah. Nice.
It has, it's been a journey.
Now, remind me, this is book 3 of the Stormlight Archive, is that right?
Book 3, right.
Okay.
And there's one more after this. I'm definitely going to catch up before the next one comes out because I think Brandon Sanderson said that it's been pushed back to 2024. Sad face, crying face emoji.
Well, he has other books you can read.
Right. And that is partially because of all these secret books he just decided to crank out over pandemic. So, whatever, it's fine. You can't rush art. All right. So I've been reading that and, of course, Hall of Smoke, like you just mentioned. For watching, we finished watching Jujutsu Kaisen for anime night, minus the movie. We have not seen the movie. None of us have.
True.
But we've seen all of the show. And we moved on to Yona of the Dawn, which is one that you've really enjoyed. And so now we're watching one that you have seen that we have not, which is new. So yeah, and that has been really good so far.
And you like it?
Lots of twists and turns, and the characters are very lovely and dastardly and awesome. They're everywhere, everywhere on the spectrum. Yeah, and they're all like aggressively attractive. That's like definitely a trope that's getting leaned into in this show.
Yeah, you haven't even met half of them, but
yeah. It doesn't matter.
No,
everyone
true.
that we've seen so far is okay. That was a choice, an artistic choice that they made.
That I'm here for.
Yeah.
And it's so pretty. Like
the art is just so
pretty.
It's like, it's not, at least yet, maybe this will change. It hasn't been very magic forward. Like there's not really magic yet. We'll see if that comes up later, but it's been mostly like political intrigue and relationship based between the characters in this setting of this like medieval / like feudal Japanese style, even though it's not in Japan, it's a fantasy setting.
Right.
Yeah, so it's been really interesting.
Yeah.
So that's been fun. Really enjoying that. And what else have I been watching? Also Critical Role, which the latest episode was Crazy. It's pretty crazy.
It was.
And I'm just now remembering that I don't think there's a new episode tonight because it is
There's
the last week
not.
of the month.
Yeah, I checked their schedule today and was like,
Ugh,
ah, bummer. I really want to know what is going to happen next. But
man. Oh well,
yeah.
it's fine. I guess they have lives and stuff. Whatever.
The panel that they did at Comic Con is on their YouTube channel today.
I guess that's what I'll
So,
watch tonight instead.
yeah. Yep, they posted that today.
Awesome. Very good. Good for them. But yes, been watching that, and that's been fun. Just campaign 3 for me, but I have a feeling you've still, yeah, I know you've still been watching campaign 2 because you've been texting me, and I'm loving it.
So
Loving the
many
reactions.
things.
Anyway, that's pretty much it for watching. Um, I don't think there's really anything else new on that front. Yeah. So for playing, still playing Elden Ring, and we are on the sequel trilogy now for Lego Star Wars. We made it through Return of the Jedi,
Wow.
and we're now on the sequel trilogy. So
How's that? So this is like you've never played this series or this trilogy on Lego before.
yeah, I have Lego The
Oh,
Force
have you?
Awakens,
Okay.
but Hope and I did not get very far in it. So I'm
Mm.
curious to see what the similarities and the differences will be with what
Um,
we did so far. But,
does every so you know how in the original Lego Star Wars there was always like
mhm.
one room you'd go into and it was like a dance party? Do they are they still incorporating that?
Oh, I feel like that's come up. Yeah. There's also a cheat code that you can buy that'll turn like everything into a disco rave. So it's super expensive though. We haven't gotten it yet.
Well,
Um,
I just when you encounter the rooms, that's like one of my favorite things about the Lego games is the dance party rooms. So if
hmm
you come across those in the sequel series, you should send me
hmm
a Snapchat of it because here for it.
Yep. Awesome. Sounds good. Um, so Elden Ring, Lego Star Wars. Had another board game day with Sam, Sarah, and a couple new people, some friends of theirs. And
Oh,
that was fun. We played a board game based on the RWBY show, which is an anime produced by Rooster Teeth. Uh, that I have seen like the first episode of, but now it keeps coming up in conversation with them, so I feel like I'm just gonna have to watch it.
I've never heard of it.
um, yeah, I know like the first season or two is computer generated like graphics, not traditional anime style. So I'll just have to
Mm,
chug. I don't know if I'll be like a huge fan of that. I'll just have to chug through that and get over it.
yeah.
Um, but I've heard that it's really really good. So I might just have to watch that. We played that. We played some Betrayal at House on the Hill. Oh, Hope got me a new expansion for Dominion.
Ooh.
It's the Seaside expansion. So it's
Okay.
like uh, oceanic themed, and there's like pirates and sailors and stuff, and that's been
Nice.
really fun. Um, it was pretty crazy, like the different. It was just a crazy, totally it made it. They introduced a new type of card that has a different mechanic, and it made it go like off the chain crazy. But
Hmm.
um, anyway, I think that's pretty much it for playing for me. So,
Nice.
how about you? What you got going on?
Well, I have also been reading Hall of Smoke, obviously. Also working on The Long Winter by Laura Ingalls Wilder. And we are also going through the secrets, not the, there's no the. We're also going through Secrets of Storytelling, a creative writing workbook for kids by
Hmm,
Natalie Rompella that has been amazing. If you
nice.
have kids in your life, dear listener, that are super creative and love writing or love reading and the idea of creating their own stories, would highly recommend this workbook. It is very good.
Nice.
And then I'm also still working on the Witch Hat Atelier series, and am going to start reading Demon Slayer finally. So
Demon
I know,
Slayer.
I know,
Yes.
I'm excited. For watching, I don't think I mentioned this when I watched it, but I watched Skate the Infinity. I can't remember if I mentioned that on the pod or not.
I don't
Um,
remember either.
but so that's an anime about skateboarders.
Skateboarding. Yeah.
It's very I can't even say that it's fluffy because it's not like
Kind of.
really. It's kind
It's
of fluffy, but also some of the opponents are super scary. So
yeah, it's like an interesting combination of slice of life and sports anime, and
yeah,
yeah, it's interesting the way they do it.
but it's really fun. So
Hmm.
so I watched that, and then yes, I am watching Critical Role
Critical
campaign.
roll, critical roll.
Oh my gosh, I've gotten to the new intro with that
Hmm.
song, and I
Yeah,
love it. I love
yeah.
it so much
I
better.
think it's the best one so far,
Ah,
personally.
it's
It's
so
really good.
good. Um, yeah, so I'm caught up on campaign 3, and on campaign 2, I'm up to episode 52. So I know all about, well, I think I know all about
Presumably.
presumably all about Knott's backstory.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Um, and yes, my favorite line so far is from Caduceus when they're in the super fun time ball with the dragon, and he bamps out of the wall and goes, "Everything is terrible. We're leaving.
Run. We're running.
We're running." That was perfect. I
Uh-huh.
like laughed so hard. It was great. Um,
He's my favorite. I think he's like my favorite character
oh
ever
my gosh,
in Critical Role so far.
he's so great. You know who I would love to see him with?
Hmm.
Fern. I think the two of them would be like the perfect combo of chaotic and just super chill.
Yeah.
It would be very entertaining.
Yeah, because Fern would like try to steal things from him, and he would obviously catch her because his perception
It's so high.
is like it's insane. So
Yeah.
he would catch her, and then he'd be like, "Oh, you want that? Here, take it."
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about it. Yeah, no, go ahead and have it. No, it's fine. It's on me.
Yeah.
Uh, love it. I
Yeah.
love him so much.
Yeah. No, he's great. I miss Molly Mock, but I love Caduceus so much that I
Yeah,
don't feel too torn up about it.
yeah.
I'm still very curious about Molly Mock as a character, but
Oh yeah, there's still a lot of things to be revealed about him because you didn't
I'm
get to.
sure. Yeah.
Molly didn't get to reveal them himself, so they get to kind of just slowly unfold bits and pieces now as they go about without him. So
Yeah.
it'll be
Yeah.
good. I'm excited for
I
you.
and I love in the new intro, the animated intro that they have at the very end. They show his robe
His
on.
cloak hanging on the
Yes.
stick.
Ugh,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
paying homage
It's so good.
to the character.
This is a weird thing, a bit of a tangent, but in campaign 2, at least early on when they're still part of Geek and Sundry, they show their character picture under them with like their stats when they're in battle, so you can like keep track of how many hit points they have or whatever.
Hmm.
And they just stopped doing that, and I'm like,
Yeah, I miss that because it was it added a sense of tension because then you knew how close they were to going down.
right.
Um, so you kind of miss that now, but I also understand in the heat of the moment that is really hard for someone to if that's someone's job to track what their hit points are at.
Oh, sure.
Um,
No,
yeah.
totally. But also, like, now they pre-record, so I'm like,
Oh,
you could
yeah, that's a good
you
point.
could totally add that back. They probably have forgotten that they used to do that because that was at this point now that would have been back in 2018. So
Yeah,
that was a long
it's
time
been
ago.
4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like there's that scene where Not like almost totally sacrifices herself and has one hit point left.
Hmm.
And nobody else knows, but we, the audience, knew, and Sam knew. And then when it's revealed that that's how low they were, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like
Yeah.
that was a big moment. That was cool. It would not have been the same if those hit points weren't viewable.
Hmm.
So that's like my one thing
Yeah.
that I miss.
It doesn't come back. Sorry.
I know, because I'm in campaign 3 and it's not there. So,
Yep.
and I also like being able to see the character art like all the time to remember what they're supposed to look like. Because
Mm-hmm.
now with campaign 3, half the time I'm like, I just think of them as their characters. I don't picture their
Yeah.
characters
Yeah.
necessarily. So, anyway, super tangent. And yes, Yona of the Dawn, which we've already talked about, but I love.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have not been playing anything or writing anything necessarily, except coming up with these fun ideas with the kids, which has been
Yeah.
really fun.
Hmm.
But they're not necessarily stories that I will actually write. But who knows? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll change my mind. I'm trying to take good care of my ideas,
Yeah.
as the workbook tells us to do.
Hmm.
But I have been doing a lot of sewing, which I know that we're not like a podcast that talks about sewing, but it's a creative outlet for me. And I just want to say that I finished hand quilting my cottagecore quilt and I'm really excited about it. And I just wanted to share that.
Well, and
So
that's probably what you do while you watch Critical Role, right?
it totally is. Yes.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm getting through Critical Role so fast just means that I'm also getting a lot of sewing done, which I love. So
Yeah.
it makes me happy.
Nice.
So do you want to talk about all the news in fantasy?
Here we go. Breaking news.
Breaking news. Now, I will say before we started recording that I had like something that I was going to say for the end because I was super excited. And I didn't think that Joseph had heard about it yet. And I was so excited for him in particular. But he guessed it. He has totally heard about it. So let's
I did. Yeah.
move it to the top. Eragon is getting a remake on Disney
Yes.
Plus.
It sure is. Thank goodness,
getting
because the
a-
movie is hot, steaming trash.
It's getting a TV show actually. So
You know, with that kind of series, I think a TV show is better.
I agree.
You can fit more in and service the plot the way it needs to be, and because that was the whole problem with the movies that they cut so much out, they completely made it impossible for them to ever be able to make a sequel because so many things in the second book got totally butchered in the first movie. So that's good. I think that's good that they're doing it. They're also doing it, I think, now that the series is finished. I think it's finished.
Yeah.
Don't quote me.
Oh no, the
Like
inheritance cycle has been done for
he
the last
might
book was published a while ago. So
he might have mentioned somewhat recently, like maybe coming back and doing more. I don't know. I feel like I saw that pop up somewhere, but I think it's pretty much done. So I think that'll be good that they can do a series with the whole book like series over, so the source material they're not having to make anything up as they go along. You know.
right, yeah, he announced it on Twitter and is a part of the project. So it's possible that when he said that he wasn't done working in the Aragon world, that
Oh, that's true. Maybe he was
this
talking about
could
that.
have been it.
Yeah.
It's apparently been a long time in the making, so or in the
Nice.
like development. So I'm really hopeful for that, and I was really excited when I saw that for you, and I was like, "We're gonna talk about that on the podcast because
Yeah, man. Because I love those books when I was in.
I
I
know."
was in like middle school, I think, when I read those.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. So I was pumped about that for you, and I will also enjoy it too.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike the movie, but I also hadn't
didn't-
read the book yet. So
Yeah, and I didn't dislike the movie when I was a child, but you know, and that's like what, you know, that's telling. You know, that's like the
Yeah.
target audience. they
for sure.
the target audience liked their movie, but now as an adult, I go back and rewatch it, and I'm like, wow, that was a choice that was made.
Yeah.
I do remember being really disappointed when I read the second book though, and realized that there's no way they could make a second movie because
Yeah.
so much changed and so
Totally.
much got messed up. Anyway,
And they didn't. So
they did not because they could not.
you called it. Yeah.
But yeah. So what's next?
Okay. There was a new Rings of Power trailer. Oh,
I'm so excited.
I know. And how much Galadriel was in it just makes me so happy.
You can't see me, audience, but my fists are like clenched in front of my face, and I'm just squinting my eyes really hard. I'm so ready. I'm so excited.
So stoked.
The hype
gonna
is
be-
real.
I know. I'm also low key trying to not get too excited, but I'm having a really hard time because everything they're releasing, like the level of detail, like the stars on her clothes, like
There's a lot of like the Star of Feanor that you'll see worked into things, which makes
Yeah.
sense. Just everything that's been revealed in the trailer so far. I mean, I'll give it to people that the female dwarves could have bigger beards. That's fine. I'll
Yeah.
give it to you. I'll give you that one critique, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm not worked up about the size of the female dwarves' beards. That's whatever.
Yeah.
But what I was really excited about in that trailer that just came out was we saw the trees of Valinor.
Yes.
We saw the two trees
And it was so pretty.
in all of their majesty and glory,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so good. Seeing like the elvish like helmets piled up in that giant pile after that battle. Um,
Mm.
Seeing like there's definitely flashbacks that are gonna happen in the first age because I think we see Galadriel's brother in a battle, and he definitely fights it in the first age. Silmarillion spoilers, sorry,
Mm.
for when you read it sometime. But yeah, there's just so many things that you see, and maybe they're flashbacks, maybe they're not, maybe they're messing with the timeline a little bit. But I've just kind of to adapt that time period in Tolkien lore, I think you have to fudge the timelines and just so that you can fit everything in there and because it's such a long period of time, you know.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
I've come to accept it. It's fine. I'm here for it. Every adaptation needs
So
to tweak things, but
no, for sure. I know that there's a lot of like discourse around how Tolkien would feel about this, whatever. I think that he would be stunned and amazed at how the trees looked.
oh yeah,
Like
he would
beautifully
weep.
done.
I think he would weep.
Yeah.
Like I think he wanted. I think personally, just from what I know of the man and like his history, that I mean, he's the one that sold the movie rights to his stuff initially,
Right.
right? Even though, I mean, I think he didn't think that anyone would ever be able to do it just because of the subject matter and how crazy, like, and fantastical the subject
And how
matter was.
epic the scope of it was, yeah.
Right. He thought it could never be done. Um, but I think that if he could see what has been done, I think he would be amazed. Um,
I think so too. I
if only
think
he were alive to be on the creative team, then all the
ugh.
critical fans could just shut up and
Yeah, that's I think the discourse around would Tolkien appreciate this or not, I think is
not helpful.
well, it's not helpful, but I also think it's almost counterintuitive to who he was as a creative mind because we know that he drew heavy inspiration from mythology and he had a lot of thoughts around language and how language is impacted by storytelling and all of these things and was a historian in a lot of ways, and I think that he would have understood and appreciated the way that story changes and the way that his story has drastically impacted the fantasy genre. And I don't think that he would be as like humbug
Right.
about it as some of the Tolkien purists think he would have been. I think that
Yeah.
Christopher Tolkien was a purist, but he was also trying to preserve his father's legacy, whereas his father literally told us that he was trying to tell a long story and tell it well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
different motives, and even within the source material and the works themselves, you see contradictions, and he leans into those.
Yeah.
So
Like
yeah.
who were Gilgalad's parents?
Eh.
Who knows?
What happened with Glorfindel? Not sure, but isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm as I'm getting older and like learning to appreciate storytelling more, and better understand where Tolkien was coming from as a creative mind, the more lenient I feel about those changes that are being made. Now,
Yeah.
that is not to say that I don't still have my gripes with the Hobbit movies.
Yeah.
But we've had that conversation.
But
And I'm
also
going to
go ahead. What were you gonna say?
no, I'm not going to dig into that again.
And you're gonna
But
table that.
yes, because
But
those episodes already exist.
yeah. I will say though, from what we've seen in the trailers, a lot of practical effects. The
Yes.
orcs look great.
Yes.
They're practical. Also, I've noticed something that I think makes a lot of sense in the world with the world building, um, because you do see orcs doing some things in daylight, but they are always in a shaded area, and they have these massive hoods, and you can tell they're trying to cover themselves with as much, like they've got helmets and masks that cover their entire faces, massive hoods. It looks like they're trying to keep out of the sunlight, which I
Yeah.
think is good to see, just from a
Mm-hmm.
world building standpoint. They look scary and they look practical. There's no weird rubbery. I mean, it is still rubber because it's a practical effect, but it
But it's
looks
not
more real than
CGI
CGI.
rubber. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It looks great. There were so many things that were revealed that I like. We should have waited to do our we predict Rings of Power until after this trailer because we did it just off of a teaser. But it's fine. Like there was like a big sea creature. There
Mm-hmm.
was uh, a sword that is creepy and dark and like materializes, and I'm not sure what they're doing with that, but it's cool. I want to know what the story is behind that. If there's some kind of like evil sword or something, um,
Mm.
because there's stories. I mean, so some of the swords in the Silmarillion are like sentient and can
Huh.
kind of mess you up. uh,
Fair.
the
Fair.
instrument. I mean, that's kind of one of the themes in the Middle Earth uh, thing is like sentient objects that like mess with your head and
Right.
decision making and
Like the ring.
yeah, right, like the ring.
Um. Um. Have we talked at all about Endwives?
No, I don't think so.
I kind of hope that there are Endwives.
That would make sense. That'd be
It would
cool.
make sense. It would be really cool.
Maybe we'll actually see Treebeard.
That would also be really cool. He was totally there.
If they bring
He
back
was totally
Treebeard
around.
and he's voiced by John Rice Davies, I will cry.
I will weep.
I will sob my eyes out. You thought I
Yeah.
cried. You thought I teared up for Qui-Gon coming back in Kenobi. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
That'd be outstanding. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's so much that I know I'm gonna love. There might be things that I don't like, and I reserve the right to dislike things. But
Of course.
um,
Of course.
I will always make sure that it's a fair critique and not just trying to feed the outrage machine, which it seems like a lot of people are trying to do.
Right. Yes. And
Anyway,
I just want to repeat again that I am so stoked for Galadriel to have such a big part.
oh yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I want to see warrior Galadriel.
Yeah.
I mean, we do see her in the trailer, like leading a cavalry
Mm-hmm.
charge with a bunch of Numenorians behind her. Like,
Like,
oh,
I am so excited. Like,
do I know what she's doing in
yes.
Numenor? No. Is that canon? Not really. Do I care? Also, no.
We're just gonna have to find out and see what that's all about. But
I'm here for it.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, super excited. I know
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people I follow on TikTok that are like Lord of the Rings creators, and a lot of them got to go to Comic-Con to see like Rings of Power trailer and like talk to some of the cast members and stuff. And I know one of them, Don Marshall, 76, I think is his handle.
Yeah,
He's
I
the
think so.
obscure Lord of the Rings facts guy. He got to explain the meme about yeeting a Isildur to the actor that plays Isildur.
That's so
About how
cool.
Elrond should have thrown him into Mount Doom to destroy the ring.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I just thought that was really amusing.
That
But
is amusing. Well, so I also follow several like Lord of the Rings creators on TikTok and also on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And Lauren does cosplay. That's her handle. She has a cosplay of Galadriel's armor from the trailer.
Oh, nice.
And it's so beautiful. And she like went to Comic-Con in her cosplay with the wig and everything. And she got pictures with the actress that's playing young Galadriel.
Oh, that's so
And
cool.
it's just amazing. I'm so happy for her. Like, it's so cool.
I just thought of what that outfit reminds me of when I see Galadriel in that armor specifically. She reminds me of like Joan of Arc, like
Yes.
like that type of like Renaissance looking armor.
Yes.
Yeah, that's who she reminds me of.
Super
That
cool.
historical figure.
Yeah.
But anyway, we could keep talking about Rings of Power for a long time, so we should probably move on. But there's also a Balrog. There was a Balrog at the end of the trailer. Holy crap. Holy crap, there was a Balrog. Okay,
Yeah.
moving on.
That was like my one, because you told me like, did you see the new trailer? And I hadn't seen it yet. So then I watched it, and my only response to you was a Balrog. Ah, so excited. Yeah. So, yes, we could talk about that forever. Moving on.
Yes.
Of course, was a ton of Marvel news that came out of Comic-Con. And I'm like so behind on Marvel that I can't even pretend to like understand where they're going with Phase 5 and Phase 6. But some things of note for me personally, there's another Spider-Man movie, which is, I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, so here for it.
I'll always keep going to those.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Like, I will go see that movie because I really enjoyed Black Panther 1. And also, I just want to support them as a movie. So
I want to see what they do with Chadwick Boseman, like whether or not his like T'Challa dies or like what they're gonna do. I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I do want to go see that one as well. I know I saw that was kind of an emotional panel for that cast.
Oh, I'm sure.
Seeing like they had like a little huddle before like the panel up front, and I know there were definitely some tears between the actors.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do definitely want to see that.
Yeah.
So
there's going to be another Ant-Man movie, which I have not seen an Ant-Man movie that I didn't like. So
yeah, I missed that. I did not realize there would be another Ant-Man movie. So
yeah. I couldn't tell you what it's going to be called, but the Black Adam movie, which I don't know much about, but I know it's in the Marvel universe, and it's The Rock is going to be Black Adam.
DC. It's DC.
DC? Oh,
yeah.
Let me move that out of my Marvel. Oh no. My friends that are comic nerds are going to laugh at me. My
Shazam
bad.
is DC.
Oh, is Black Adam part of Shazam?
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't put that together. That makes sense. Which, anything Zachary Levi is in, here for.
And there's going to be another Shazam movie.
Yes. So. Back to Avengers or Marvel. Fantastic Four and new Avengers movies are going to be coming out. I don't know if I have it in me.
I will go see John Krasinski in Fantastic Four.
It's not been confirmed. I don't think. It has to be. It's assumed.
Well, you haven't seen Multiverse of Madness.
It's true.
John Krasinski is Mr. Fantastic. That's
okay. Great. Okay. Wonderful.
Anyway,
I know. There's just so much Marvel.
There's a lot. It's impossible to keep up on. Like, I have a few select characters that I will follow up with, like the Loki show. I mean, him, Spider-Man. I did go see the last Thor movie. Doctor Strange was kind of whatever. Like, I mostly just wanted to see what happened with Scarlet Witch. I didn't even care that much about Doctor Strange. I just wanted to see what happened with Wanda.
Which that's why I watched that movie too. But
right.
I haven't yet, obviously.
It's almost a Scarlet Witch movie. Like, let's be real.
Okay.
But,
then I will move it up on my watch list.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like, they announced another, oh my gosh, the Chris Pratt
Guardians?
ones. Another Guardians of the Galaxy, which, meh.
That one has been in the works for a long time. I know it was delayed because there was all that drama with James Gunn, the director.
Oh, right. All about that.
But then he is directing it. They still brought him back to do it. So, and there was a bunch of weird stuff to delay that. Like, I think that movie should have been out by now if it was going with the original schedule.
Oh. Maybe that's why I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's going to be an I Am Groot show.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Which I am mildly curious about because Groot is very cute. But, yeah. But really, like, the Black Panther, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, and Ant-Man, because I enjoy the Ant-Man movies.
Oh, also, I know they're going to bring back Charlie Cox as Daredevil.
And I haven't seen any. I think I've seen like one episode of Daredevil.
Right.
But
I've seen all that show, and I loved him as Daredevil. I freaked out when he cameoed in that last Spider-Man movie, as Peter
right.
Parker's attorney, as
Yeah.
Matt Murdock. I freaked out. That was awesome. So no, I will follow. That's another character that I will follow up with and watch the new stuff with
Yeah.
that. So
There's just so much.
yeah, it's a
But
lot.
if you're a huge Marvel fan, I'm excited for you.
Hmm.
That you're gonna get so much content coming your way.
Yep.
Um, there's also the Star Wars Andor comes out August 31st on Disney Plus.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
something to look forward to.
Hopefully, we'll get to see
Um,
K2SO,
Yes, that would be wonderful.
voiced
I'm
by
kind of hoping
who's the voice?
Alan
Tudyk.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yep.
I'm kind of hoping that we see Hera from Rebels.
If we could see some live action Rebels characters, that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, and the only reason I even suggest that is because they say her name in Rogue One. Like when they're on, when they're at the base, they announce like Captain Hera to blah 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 whatever.
Yeah.
And you see her droid. Her droid is present in
Chopper.
Rogue One. Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of what his name was. So I would love to see Hera in Andor because she's like one of my favorite characters from the Rebels show.
Yeah.
But we'll see. There's also a Dungeons and Dragons movie, Honor Among Thieves.
Yep. Yep. I had forgotten about that,
Yes,
but I saw
and
the stuff for it. But yeah.
and it has Chris Pine and Hugh Grant in it, which I adore. I think it's
So
a weird
weird.
combo, but I'm
love
here
it, though.
for it.
I think Hugh Grant plays a bard, which
I think so.
is
Which makes
perfect.
sense. Yes.
I don't know what Chris Pine plays, but I had heard, could be false, but I had heard that the Critical Role cast is cameoing.
I also heard that.
Yeah.
And that would be amazing. That would be a great. Well, I mean, honestly, the Dungeons and Dragons movie would be kind of silly to not at least mention them
Yeah,
in some
because
way.
Critical Role is, in large part, like responsible for the popularity that D&D has right now. Them and Stranger Things, they really like cause this big resurgence. So
Yeah. Yeah. Which isn't to say that there aren't other creators in that space doing amazing things too, like Dimension 20 and
yeah. Oh yeah, love Dimension 20, love Brendan Lee
What's the
Mulligan.
other one? What's the other one? It's a podcast with the brothers.
Oh yeah. Adventure Zone. Something Zone,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes, the Adventure Zone.
Yeah.
Kaz. Because Leanne listens to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, there are also other huge creators doing amazing things in the D&D space, but it's cool to see a movie with some big names in it
Yep.
being made too. It looks fun, which is really what you want from a D&D movie. Is something
Indeed.
that looks fun.
Indeed.
There was also like more stuff about House of the Dragon, which is the Game of Thrones prequel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm feeling very.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm iffy on that one. If it comes out and people rave about it and they're like, "Oh, it's amazing," maybe I can be persuaded. But I don't know, man. I know it's not the same showrunners, so maybe it would be different. But they need to regain my trust with what they did to that story.
No, I feel ya.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing that has me like kind of leaning into watching it is that it has Matt Smith in it, and I really enjoy Matt Smith.
I also like Matt Smith, but I don't think in that white wig.
He looks weird,
He does look weird.
but the Targaryens all look kind of weird.
They do. It's the inbreeding.
Uh-huh.
And I'm leaving that in because that is canon.
It
That
is canon.
In the books, you got a bunch of like trying to preserve bloodlines and brothers marrying sisters and stuff, and it's gross. So you know what? If
Gross.
we're gonna see some Targaryens with some weird like third arms and stuff, you know that.
I don't think there's any of that, but they look funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Anyway,
Did you see that The Dragon Prince is getting a 4th season on Netflix?
That I did not see. So that I'm very excited
Yes.
about.
Yes, and it looks really good.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that. I think when we first started the podcast, you were watching it, and
That sounds right.
I watched it based on your recommendation, and it was really good. So I think I might have to go back and rewatch it to prep for the 4th season. The animation's really pretty. It's on Netflix, so would recommend.
Yeah. If you liked Avatar, I think it's the same creators as Avatar: The Last Airbender. So.
Which, speaking of Avatar, there's an Avatar movie coming out with Aang and the gang.
A new live action.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I don't think so. I think it's animated.
Oh, well, there's multiple Avatar projects right now. One of them is a live action, which is, I think, just doing the same story that's already out, but in live action. Not the... I think it's M. Night Shyamalan that did the original live action. Has nothing to do with that.
No.
But, yeah, they're doing another live action.
I'm looking it up.
Okay.
So according to The Verge, Avatar Studios' first animated movie will feature many familiar faces.
Oh, cool. Oh, right, because they have their own studio now. It's Avatar Studio, like their own thing now, which is awesome.
Yep. We'll focus on Aang and his friends, collectively known as Team Avatar, as young adults, so they'll be grown up a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And the initial art looks really good.
Nice. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So, do you have any news that I did not mention?
I don't think so. You covered a lot of it. I mean, there were definitely other Marvel things, but...
Yeah, a lot of that didn't mean anything to me because I am falling out of the Marvel cycle. So.
There's going to be more Captain America. There's going to be, like...
oh, really?
Yeah, there's going to be She-Hulk.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I did see that.
That is a thing that's happening. Yeah, that's... Comic-Con is ripe for news, for sure. But I'm mostly just obsessed over that Rings of Power trailer, obviously. But
I feel bad that I have gotten to a point with Marvel where I'm just like, I just can't keep up with it. It's not even really burnout. It's just like, I can't keep up.
It's oversaturated. Like, there's just so much of it, I would say. That's my problem anyway. I feel like I can't keep up because they keep coming out with new stuff so fast. It's like I just can't go see all those movies in theaters. That's just too much.
Right. It is too much. And it's not inexpensive, so
that's why I'm going to pick my few characters that I'll latch onto and I'll see them through to the end, but yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed WandaVision, but I didn't love...
Oh, yeah.
And I really liked the Loki show, but I didn't love the...
Captain and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I didn't...
Yeah.
Didn't love that. Is that what it was called? Or was...
Captain and Winter Soldier, yeah.
Or was it called Falcon and Winter...
Or, sorry, Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, see, that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
And I want to support Captain America with...
Yeah, that has nothing to do with recasting Captain America and just everything to do with the story they told. The story just wasn't very gripping for me.
Right. And I like Bucky Barnes as a character.
I love Bucky.
I'm very interested in, and Captain America as a character, and the Falcon I'm interested in as a character, but the story just was not compelling.
Yeah. And that's not even necessarily a recasting. I should rephrase that. I mean, Captain America, like in the story,
but it isn't.
He's taking up the mantle of Captain America. They didn't recast Steve Rogers, you know. His character's becoming Captain America.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, remind me, his character's name is Sam Wilson, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not opposed at all to the Sam Wilson becoming Captain America. I wish that it would have happened sooner in the show, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if there are future Captain America movies that he's in, I'll probably go see those, but or see them at some point on Disney Plus or whatever. But.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's where we stand with fantasy and entertainment news for things we're interested in anyway. Maybe there's more things we missed, and if there is, let us know.
I was surprised that I didn't see more Star Wars news. I know that Phase 2 of the High Republic stuff comes out. I think it was like in the next 2 months that starts back up again.
Okay.
But I didn't see I didn't see as much Star Wars news as I was hoping to when I was doing my research. I feel like
they probably saved that for Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, you're probably right. Which they already had.
Yeah, I think that's when they do a lot of their big announcement things.
That makes sense, since they have their own, like, con of sorts.
Yes.
Con meaning convention, not
a con artist thing.
Right.
Like a scam.
Right.
Yeah. But there's going to be Star Wars news. I think Taika Waititi's getting a Star Wars movie.
Did you see the like the news blurb where he asked Natalie Portman if she wanted to do a Star Wars movie with him, and she was like, "I already did that."
I did.
I'm like, and he was like, "Oh, I forgot about those." I'm like, what? I mean, it's a huge IP, right? Like,
yeah.
But also, if you're gonna do a movie in the franchise, you should like those 9 movies are like.
You should watch those.
Core.
But at least that kind of tells me that maybe he's not making a movie that has anything to do with
the Skywalkers.
With the Skywalkers, which honestly, good.
Yeah.
Let the Skywalkers do their thing. And the Solos and the Organas, let them do their thing. And I want to see more things like Rebels, things that are, and you know what, it doesn't even have to have Jedi and Sith in it. I want like more like Mandalorian type shows that are about, even though that kind of has season 1 Mandalorian is what I'm referencing. But
baby Yoda, who I almost called Groot because his name is Grogu, he uses the Force all through season 1.
Yeah, he does. But
I'm not opposed to Force users. It's just maybe they don't have to be Jedi per se.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited to see what he does. We'll see.
Yeah, me too.
So, let's see what the future holds. Super pumped for Rings of Power.
Me too. Oh my goodness. That's going to be so good. I hope it's going to be so good. I hope it doesn't suck. I don't think it will.
No.
Because Wheel of Time didn't suck.
No, and the critiques that I had were definitely because of COVID. Like some of the choices with the last episode that were made were definitely things that had to happen because of COVID. And also they had some weird stuff happening with the actor that plays Matt having to leave the show. And no, we don't know why. Yeah, we've talked about that, how the actor for Matt
don't think so.
Isn't, they had to recast.
Oh, and I didn't know that.
Yeah,
we have not talked about this.
It should have come up in our recasting episode. I think I had it written down and I might have just forgot to mention it. But he had to step away for unknown reasons. There was just some personal life stuff that he had to deal with and kind of just dropped off the face of the earth. He deleted his social media and he's I hope he's doing okay. But he had to leave the show.
Matt, the redhead kid?
No, you're thinking about
Which one is Matt?
Matt is the one that had the dagger that abruptly wouldn't go with them through the portal. And they left
with
behind.
With the sisters.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he will be played by a different actor in the next season. I don't remember their name, but there was a lot of things you could tell they had to really adjust on the fly with him having to step out. Yeah.
See, I had no idea. Blissfully unaware.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, looking forward to the next season of that. Oh, that's another news thing. Actually, they got renewed for season 3, and season 2 hasn't even come out yet. So
They did. Yeah. I saw that, but I didn't know if it was actually like news because I felt like I knew that they were getting 3 seasons, but maybe I just imagined that.
I feel like I don't know if they'll crank them out until the story's over, because that'd be a lot, or it'll be a very condensed version of the story. But
Right. Right.
anywho,
Good stuff.
yeah. There's your fantasy news, your entertainment news from the Lit Round Table.
Yeah, all of this is a Google search away.
Yep.
Also, you could get better information about the Black Adam movie since I put it in the wrong comic house.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little embarrassed about that, but
Although Dwayne Johnson is born to play that role, so I'm glad they managed to get him for it.
yeah. Well, and so does that mean that him and Zachary Levi will be in a movie together?
Probably. I'm sure they will.
That'd be great. Also, my offer to Zachary Levi still stands. So if you're listening,
What's your offer to Zachary Levi?
do you remember in like one of the first episodes we were talking about? I think it was one that we were talking about. It had to be Disney characters because we were talking about Flynn Rider.
Yeah.
And I just mentioned how Zachary. Yeah, it was just like Zachary Levi is like one of my favorite actors, and he's very attractive, and he's single. So I don't know if he's still single or not, but also single. Super nerd over here.
Nice.
So just throwing that out there.
All right.
Universe. Manifesting.
All right. Well, maybe he'll come on and do. We can interview him. That'd be cool. You'd freak out.
Well, that makes this really mortifying.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen. I mean,
Never
that would
know.
be really cool.
Someday. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah. So, tune in next week for the next segment of the Read Along with Hall of Smoke. Catch up on that if you haven't already. But yeah, I guess until next time, go read something cool.
And we'll talk at you next time.
Later.
Bye.